All right. Hey now, and how are you doing? Want to welcome you to the next episode of Peace, Love, and Bring It Back. Today, we're going to have a really special guest all the way from the UK, Dr. Rani Thanacoody. And she's a visionary entrepreneur based in the UK. And she's an esteemed founder of the Amazing You organization. And she's carved her mark in the field of holistic wellness. How are you doing today, Dr. Rani?
Hi, David. Hello to your audience. I am doing really great. I am very excited, very grateful to talk to you and your audience. Thank you, David.
Well, thank you so much. I know we've had a talk and we've had some really nice conversations, and our good friend Jonathan Emery had connected us. So thanks a lot. This little shout out to Jonathan. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself, all the work that you do?
Yes, thank you, David. Yes, I am a full-time academic and I have been teaching human resource management at university level for the past 20 years. And I also have my own business that I started during the pandemic in 2021. So I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I offer hypnotherapy session on various issues. It can be fears of driving, fear of dying. It can be even on medical issues like people have irritable bowel syndrome. It can be on other issues such as conception. So I cover all sorts of areas, depression, anxiety. These are the most common issues that I have. And I also offer tarot reading session. I am a tarot reader. I am an astrologer. I am a compassion practitioner. I am also a chakra practitioner. And I have also my own podcast like you. My podcast is called Amazing You by Dr. Rani. And my podcast, the aim of my podcast is to give inspiration, to offer hope, and to help people to build resilience. And you will be part of it very soon. So I'm really looking forward to having you on my podcast, David.
Yeah.
And I have also published, co-authored two books. One is with Dr. John Gray, the very well-known author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And the book that I co-authored with him and 30 other coaches, the book is called Love and Coaching. And I share my story about, and the chapter that I wrote, it's called The Best Investment You Will Ever Make. And I have co-authored a second book with a friend of mine. Her name is Susie Dent, and the book is called Bare Naked and Beautiful, where several of us ladies from all over the world, we share our journey of having been sexually abused. I am also an international inspirational speaker. I speak on several podcasts and on some TV shows. And I have been trained by the very well-known Les Brown. I am very grateful for him.
Yep.
Thanks to him that I am here today, David, because his inspiration has encouraged me to start my own podcast. And I have been also nominated among the 100 women entrepreneurs globally. And I am featured in the Global Woman magazine that was issued in March 2024. And I
Wow.
also write, and I also write for the Diamond Moments magazine that you know, that I introduced you to the beautiful sonnet.
Yeah.
And I have also, so I do so many things. I am a believer that you not only have to work on the mind, but you have to also, it's a mind and body that works together. And I believe in holistic health and and that helps to provide transformative experience throughout the body through the power of nutrition. So I partnered with Juice Plus, which is a business where I support individuals to improve their health, to improve their diet using organic supplements. So this is all about me. And yes, thank you so much for being on your platform. I am really, really grateful to you and to
Well,
John.
well, thank you. Your story is so. I'd love to know a little bit more about your story. I always ask about what brought you here. What the journey. How'd you get through to being here? I mean, even just working with Les Brown is a very high level type of work. I mean, it's not for the lighthearted. So, could you explain that to us a little bit? Your path? Well, explain a bit about your path.
Thank you for this, for allowing me to share that. I will make it a long story short. So I am originally from Mauritius and I have been living in the UK for the past 15 years now. And so how I came to where I am today, it's all started when I was
Before you
around.
start anything, Miss, I know where Mauritius is. Well, could you explain it to other people because it's I want to make sure that they know that it's not right next to the UK and
Yes.
the journey. So it was more than just a that we your family moved. But could you explain a little bit about where Mauritius is?
Yes, Mauritius is located between South Africa, the big island of Africa, the big continent of Africa, and the other continent of Australia. It's in the middle between those two continents, and it's in the middle of the Indian Ocean. So that's where Mauritius. It's a tiny dot, a small island, but a beautiful island.
Yep,
So I
that's what I've heard.
so I grew up there and I spent my teenagers and my university undergraduate there. And at the age of 4 years old, the greatest love of my life, I would say, passed away. It was my grandmother. She was the dearest person to me because she was so loving, so caring, and because I had my parents at that time, but they were extremely busy. And we all have parents that do their best for us, but they are not always able to tune into our emotions and our feelings. And for me, my grandmother was the only person who could understand my feelings. But when she passed away, that was a huge loss. And as a child, I remember when she passed away, going to her funeral, and everybody was so busy running around getting things done for the funeral. I was just sitting in the corner of that room and just watching everything. But nobody had time to even ask me, "Are you okay? How are you doing?" And I was just watching everything. And little children, we do feel these emotions and they don't go away, they stay within us. Because for me, I didn't know for a long time, but this was a huge trauma because there was
Mm.
nobody to comfort you at that time, you know? So when you experience such a deep loss, if you have somebody who is there, who helps you to understand you, then the trauma, you can heal from that trauma. It's not a trauma, but when you are all by yourself, you sit with those emotions and it stays inside of you. That's when it becomes a trauma. It's the trauma, it's not what happened to you, but it's the emotions that are
Right.
stuck inside of you.
Right. Trauma isn't always just the event. It's the way we perceive it. It's the way we receive it, and how we manage through those challenges. And that's the part that people don't understand. They're like, and now you're a perfect example in that you were 4 years old and your grandmother died, which many times that happens. But it also sounds like you weren't supported, you know, even at a 4 year old emotional level on the death of somebody so important in your life, who I
Mm.
guess was one of your main caregivers at that time.
She was indeed the main, even if she was not coming every time, but the connection I had with her,
Sure.
it was at a deep level, even if would come during the holidays, but I had like that deep connection of somebody who gets me, somebody who understands me, somebody who feels what I'm going through. So that was huge for me. So it was not only losing her, but it was grief as well, you know. I never had, never, nobody understood that even children need to grieve the
Mhm.
loss of somebody. But I never did that as a child. I never did that until much later on, 5 years ago. So, as when my grandmother passed away, holding on all these emotions, other things started to happen to me because I was holding on, I was already being wounded inside.
Sure.
And I started then I was physically abused as a child at 4 years old at kindergarten.
Mm. Wow.
So it's like people people could feel that is a wounded child that who feels a bit like as if she's abandoned, nobody really cared. So people can feel that, predators can feel that energy. And that's when it happened. And when I told my parents, it took me a while, but I told them, and then it changed my kindergarten school. But then it didn't stop. Then at 7 years old, I went to a primary school. I was bullied by a teacher, a supply teacher who was coming to replace my teacher. And for no reason, he started screaming at me because I stood up for one of my classmates. And
Mm.
since that day, he was always waiting for me at, when school starts and when school finishes. He would always tell me, I will tell your dad what you did. But I never did anything wrong. But I was so scared, you know, so
Right.
scared of that person. So the bullying continued. So as I grew up, so after secondary school, it was fine. When I started working, you know, when you don't deal with your emotions as when they are small, they become bigger and bigger as you grow
Mm.
up, you know.
Sure.
It's not that these emotions want to take to to overcome you, but they just want you to give them some attention, and they want to draw your attention that there is something inside you that needs to be addressed. So I started working in the universities and I was getting bullied from my superiors. And I was moving in the UK from one job to another every 2 years. So I not only moved jobs, David, I was moving home as well.
So you kept on sort of running away. Not maybe that's not how you thought of it, but you were running away from the home, from each location, because you were running or searching for something. You might not have been running. You were searching for something much deeper within yourself. And
I think that's absolutely correct. I was searching for that thing. And then one day, it was my fourth job, and the issue was so serious, the bullying from people at the top in the organization, in that job, that I had no choice. I had a choice, but I decided to leave. I say no, enough is enough, you know.
mm,
4 times, and I've been experiencing that there is something not normal within me. I need to find out. It is something that's, why is it not happening to other people? I realized that it was something within me I need to look at.
sure.
And I left everything. I left the UK. I was on a work visa, so I had to leave the country after 3 months. So I left, I went back to Mauritius. And that's when I started to really think. And I started praying every day, doing my affirmations and asking God to open a door for me, to help me to understand and to heal that part of me so that I stop this kind of pattern in my life because it was becoming a pattern, David. Yeah.
Sure. If anything we don't heal becomes a pattern in our lives, it becomes ingrained in our lives. And only once we seek to heal within ourselves can we move forward on life. I mean, you can move forward, but it's like again going shopping and carrying too many bags. It's much easier to release some of those things that are holding us back. The the un I guess unhealed parts of our lives and our psyche.
Yes, I am so glad to have you because you understand that really, really well. It's lovely
Un-
talking to you.
Unfortunately, I understand it from personal experience as well as experience that I when I've worked with people. But
Mm,
man, it's different, and part of this learning for me has really taken me to that next level in the work that I do because I understand it differently. That's when I assist people to write books or get on stages, then you can work with it differently and, really push things a little bit differently.
Yes. So when I went back to Mauritius, I started searching within me. I started asking more questions.
Sure.
And everybody around me was telling me, this has happened to you for so many times. Why do you want to go back to that country? Didn't you learn your lesson? But something inside of me was telling me, you have to go back. And this time when you will go, you will learn, you will find out why.
Right.
So I was determined and I applied and I got the job. And the university that I've been working in that university for 6 years for the first time in my life, David.
Wow. Yeah,
Yes.
that's incredible that, but part of that is because of the learned and then the healing that you did within yourself. You did the work while difficult, you were able to enlighten yourself and heal those instances within you.
Yes. So when I came back in 2018, started working in the job, but I was still searching. This time I was not searching outside of me. I was searching for the cause that would help me to heal those patterns because I say I need to understand and get the root of those patterns and stop that. And I found the right course, and that was the hypnotherapy course by Marissa Peer. This course has been life-changing, and that appeared during the pandemic when it hit in 2020. I started training, and this has been life-changing. It has helped me to heal from, because when you experience trauma, it's not only one thing. It's not only the feeling of loneliness that I experienced my whole life, but it was the disconnection with myself and also not being able to connect with people. I never was able to connect with deeply, I mean, on an emotional level with friends, with colleagues. And also I felt always alone my whole life, even in a crowd of with people. But in addition of that, so much trauma stored in the body, I developed what is called irritable bowel syndrome for years.
Sure.
And this was getting worse, David, year by year until I started to heal from with the hypnotherapy. And since I started the healing journey using the hypnotherapy as my first modality, the most powerful modality for me, the irritable bowel syndrome is gone.
Wow. That's
It's
incredible.
gone. I can eat. I have more variety in what I can eat. Before I was limiting myself. It's like as the years were going by, I had less food to choose from to cook.
Sure.
But now it's like I feel so much better in my body. I have more energy. David, I always felt drained, felt tired because I was absorbing everybody's energy. I was wounded and I was absorbing everybody. I was like a sponge. But now I feel more alive. I don't absorb people's energy. I know how to protect myself energetically. So it's like doing the work continuously. And that's why I talk in my book and the book chapter on the book Love and Coaching, the best investment you will ever make. And I shared my story of how important it is to invest in ourselves.
100%. Because it's got to come from us first. I I really didn't understand any of that um, several years ago because I was investing in learning how to assist people and not doing it upon myself. And then once I did that deep dive within myself, I was able to grow. And it sounds like so hypnotherapy was definitely one of the tools. What other tools? Because not everybody could go to do hypnotherapy at the beginning or find a hypnotherapist like yourself. Do you have any resources that how'd you start? Because you didn't just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to go to hypnotherapy. So could you explain that? Because I think that's where would be the most valuable in finding how we went from point A to point B and what we've done. It's knowing the resources and applying our own resources.
Yes, thank you so much, David, for asking that question. For me, how that started is I have been deeply very spiritual. I'm a believer in God. For me, God has For me, God doesn't have any shape or form. God is just energy. And I deeply believed in God. And I was praying. And for me, I have had so many masters, spiritual masters
Mm.
from the East. I have had, oh my God, I can't tell you, all these spiritual masters, I have met them in person. And I couldn't find myself because my parents would take me to India to go to these ashrams. And but then for me, what worked best, so I did meditation for a long time. It didn't work when I had trauma. When you have trauma, you can't sit and meditate. Your mind is going to go to 20 places. But the first thing that I did that helped me the most on that journey is when, for me, reading was very important. And I tried different churches. So I went to church at some point of my life, and I saw the book by Joel Osteen, who is a very well-known American pastor.
Yeah.
And one of his book starts with I am.
Mm.
So I read his book and I followed him virtually as well. When he was doing his service, he would always start with affirmation.
Mm.
I am.
Sure.
He would say, I am strong, and he would make the audience repeat that. And I learned that from him. And then I learned from Louise Hay about the power of affirmations. And I wrote myself a list of affirmations that I would recite every morning. I tell you, David, I have done that for 5 years every day, on holidays
Yeah.
and anytime. Even when I was flying, I would put it in my book, that sheet, and I would recite that to myself. And that
It's
is
powerful.
super
Affirmations is
powerful.
because we're part of it as part of hypnotherapy is also what we tell ourselves, the
Yeah.
stories we tell ourselves. So why wouldn't we tell ourselves, "I am wonderful. I I can do this." Just simple ones, and you can get more detailed what this even means, right? I am good
Yes.
at X, Y, and Z, and or I forgive myself, right? I mean,
Mhm.
that's where Oponopono comes from. It's a
Yes.
it's a deep level of hypnotherapy saying that you forgive yourself, and if it changes within you, it'll change within the universe, the world.
Yes. And so many people have said, Marisa always says to us, the word that follow I am follows you.
Yeah.
Yes, and I believe in that. When I would do that without knowing the power of mirror work. So when the pastor Joel Austin said to recite these affirmations, so I would write it, and every morning I would look at myself in front of the mirror, use my paper in front of me, and look at myself in the mirror and tell myself. And later, after 4 or 5 years, I read in a book from Louise Hay that this is one of the technique that she has taught people, and this has healed so many people. And I didn't know, but I was already doing that.
Well, and that's great. So using resources to heal within yourself, and I think that's the real the mission here today. Because once we heal within ourselves, we're then able to heal within our communities, our relationships,
Mm.
and you shared it yourself that once you were able to heal within yourself, you had better work environments, very better personal environments, and you felt better. You were able to cure yourself, or at least, I don't know if it was medically diagnosed, but the IBS, right? And you see that you're able to eat better. You're able to eat more things that you couldn't have because the trauma that was kept within your body, really, by releasing that trauma, healing the trauma allowed your body and your mind, that beautiful blend, to work together to heal itself and move forward.
Yes, and I see that as well in my clients. They come with anxiety. I had one recently who come with not feeling good enough, because so many of us, we don't feel good enough due to trauma that we experience as children. And when we are able to understand in the hypnotherapy session because what I do with the clients, I always go to the root cause of the issue,
Mm.
and I help them get the understanding. They see it from the different scenes. They are able then to extract extract those beliefs, they extract it like the dentists
Hmm.
themselves. They are the investigator of their own life. They extract it, and then I help them to recode some new beliefs, positive beliefs that we call neuro-linguistic programming. So it's all, I don't heal the people, the clients. I
Correct.
work with them as a team, but the healer is each person. We have within us
Yep.
the power to heal ourselves. And it is only when we look within us that we are able to change our reality and the world outside of us. And I have a quote I want to share with your audience from reading all these different books. The Alchemist, I think, have you encountered the
Yep.
book,
Yep.
The
Yep. I know
Alchemist? Yeah.
that book. Yep.
Yeah, it's a very powerful book. And the quote I want to share is that treasures that you are seeking are within you. You know, the
Yep. Yep.
treasure that you are seeking are within you.
Yep. That's a room. That's based on a Rumi quote, and it really is so true. Of that, all the answers are within us, and sometimes that's why we need somebody to see things differently. We get stuck in our own view of it. I always call it perspective, but some people get angry at that. But our view, our experience of what went on, and then once we're able to see it a little differently, feel it differently, taste it differently, the world changes because we have that open. If you're not open to it, you're not looking for it, it doesn't matter. That's why the trick is that it's within ourselves. But if you're not looking for it, you'll never see it. If you're seeking for it outside of you versus inside of you.
Yes, I really like what you said because I love Rumi too. And everything that we are seeking is inside of us. And I've got a beautiful quote of Rumi that I want to share with your
Sure.
audience. If you give me the permission, I would
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
yes. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, you have permission.
Yeah, thank you. So, the very center of your heart is where life begins, the most beautiful place on earth by Rumi.
Mm, nice.
And
So,
that's where everything starts, you know.
yep.
And that has, I think, doing all these modalities, hypnotherapy, I learned tarot reading, astrology, I realized that everything that I've learned, every modality has helped me to heal myself, some parts of me, but everything has helped me to to discover myself on that journey because we are in this on earth to really discover who we are. It is through our relationships, whether we like it or not. It can be a challenging relationship, it can be a good one, but every person is a teacher to show us what is it that we need to work and heal within ourselves. Because when we heal those parts, it's like a world opens up in front of us. Life is more easy. We are more in the flow. We don't have to struggle and fight to get things. I used to fight a lot to get things, but now I learn to relax and let things come to me and let the ideas come and be open. You know, it's about
Yep.
being open to receiving and giving as well, because life it's a give and take.
Well, we got to flow, right? And we're talking about energy, as you started
Absolutely.
it. If we block it in any way or in any form, it doesn't flow as freely. It still might flow, but once you can remove all the obstacles, remove whatever's blocking within you. It allows it to be free out into the universe and able to, again, you just said a really important word, to receive as well. Because it's not
Mm.
only about giving, 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 because if not, you can't pour yourself into something that you're not receiving something back. And that doesn't mean an exchange or things like that. You need to also receive knowledge. You need to receive guidance, receive knowledge to move differently, to see things differently. That's what changes life.
Yes. And I learned that from the breathing. I train as a breathwork coach
Yep.
as well. So I would like your audience to try that. Just everybody take a few seconds now and just exhale, 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 exhale. Because when you exhale, you are giving, giving, giving. But what would happen at some point? you will be out of breath, because you need to breathe in. In the body, there is that balance of breathing, of taking, and then giving. So in our daily life as well, we can't just give, because I have been doing that when we are wounded. We tend to be, in order to be accepted for who we are, to be loved by our parents, we adopt different roles. Some of us we adopt the role of we get always sick, we become the sick child. Some of us become rebellious to get the attention. Some of us become the perfect child. We do everything. I used to be like that. We play different roles. I used to be the sick child and the perfect child who always tried to do my best to get the highest mark, to get the approval that I never got.
Mm.
So we play those different roles, and and I realized that playing those different roles has served me at some point, but then it doesn't make me really fulfilled. It's like I am always giving, giving, giving. I tend to be more of a giver, but I don't allow myself to receive. And when we give, we become empty
Yep.
on the
When you
inside.
keep giving, right, you get drained. And then at
Yes,
some point, as humans, we go, oh, I give everybody everything and nobody gives back to me.
that's
And that's
correct.
also part of the the energy that we put out there. And having that shift to also being, because receiving is a very honorable gift as well, because you need to know how to receive well, not just, oh, you got a gift. The gift, you have to know what that gift is, how to apply that gift, because it's not always something tangible like a pen where you can write with it. It's the gift. That's why when I say, when you go through something really bad, there still might be a gift in there. There still might be a silver lining. And I know it doesn't feel that way when you're there, and it's hard to manage that. But in the future, you can start seeing some of the gifts by unwrapping exactly what went on, and again diving back into yourself. What did you need? And sometimes there's going to be situations where there isn't a gift, but you can still find the gift in it, because how you want to apply it. You didn't let it define you. You know, that's where some of the power also comes into, is, does an event or something that happens, does that define you, or can you grow through it?
That's really well said, David. I have learned on that journey of healing myself that the greatest gift I can give to myself is the gift of loving myself.
Mm, yes.
Because I have always been giving, giving to others, my whole life, being a people pleaser, pleasing my boss, pleasing everybody else, but never got the approval until I started to give real time, heal myself, invest in courses. That's why I had that chapter, investing in myself, because it's giving myself that love that I never gave. To heal myself, doing those courses, sitting with myself, listening to my heart, and also taking the time to be with me, to listen to my emotions, to listen to that inner child, that has been
Mhm.
so wounded, that has desperately wanted love her whole life, but nobody could fulfill because nobody could understand what she wanted. But the only person that can understand what you want is yourself, because you live with yourself 24/7. So now, as adult, we are no more children. When we are children, we need our parents. But as we become adult, we have to take responsibility of our lives and heal those wounded parts, heal that inner child, and reparent ourselves, because we can do that better than anybody else.
Exactly, because we know what we needed at that time. And I know time is wrapping up, so I want to say thank you for so much of this knowledge, and having us, really learning how to dive into ourselves, the value of the story that you came, and knowing that we can heal within ourselves. Is there anything, one final message or a seed that I say we'd like to plant that might not grow today, but with the right nurturing, it will grow in our audience? Would you share that with us?
Yes, thank you, David. What I would like to tell the audience, the first thing you can do to start to help yourself is do gratitude. Be grateful for everything when you get up. You don't need a piece of paper or nothing. In your bed, you open your eyes and you say those words. Like I tell you, the words that follow I am are very powerful. So
Mm.
you say, I am grateful for just five small things: for my bed, for a good night's sleep, for my bed sheets, for being alive, and for being healthy, for my body, because we so often neglect our body. So we need to love our body. And just being in that attitude of gratitude will take you a long way, will bring everything to you, will help you with the anxiety, the sadness, the loneliness, because you are starting to fill yourself with great things when you get up. This is the only thing I would say to the audience. You can, because if I have done it, you can do it. But just be consistent and do it for the rest of your life, because you are the treasure that you have been seeking. And I love you all.
Thank you. And that was a beautiful seed. That was a beautiful treasure that you just gave us. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time, your knowledge, and I know we'll have much more conversations in the future to learn some more about you as you're growing and as you're healing, which is more important. And thank you again.
Thank you, David. And I would like to tell the audience, if they want to contact me, they can go to my website. And I've got two websites. So the first one is marsvenuscoach.rani.com. The second website is Dr. Rani, Rani, Thanacoody, THANACOODY.com. And they can find me on Instagram, Rani Thanacoody on Instagram. Thank you so much, David, to speak to your audience. And I wish you a lot of success. And I'll tell the audience, love yourself and you can do it. And keep shining, everybody. Keep shining brightly. Thank you.
Thank you. That is so awesome. And as always, we just want to send out peace and love to everybody in whatever you're going through. You'll get through it. Bring a bat, bring being awesome, and really just be authentic today. Keep swinging for it. Hit your sweet spot, and we'll talk to you the next episode. Thank you so much.
Bye.